Welcome to the EDB Postgres Cloud Database Service. On-demand, enterprise, Postgres databases in minutes on the Amazon Web Services Cloud. This demo will have you up and running on the EDB Postgres Cloud Database Service in minutes. Your first step is to visit enterprisedb.com/cds and click Try It Now. You'll set this up as a brand new user and designate a username and password. Once you've accepted the terms and conditions of our privacy policy, you can hit Submit. You'll notice that we came in under cds.enterprisedb.com. We've already populated the contact information as well as the primary email address. You'll enter your payment information here as well as your billing address, privately and securely, and you will be launched into the Cloud Database Service. You'll see that we're still in beta stage, but we are actually in a nearly full-featured state. You can access two separate Amazon regions currently, US East and US West. Before we go ahead and provision anything with the actual console, let's take a minute to set up teams and users. In part 2 of the demo, we will look at setting up teams and users. Under the Teams and Users tab, you can designate admins and business units with different needs. For example, you may have individuals who are in a billing function or in provisioning who may just need to actually provide clusters to their various team members, or others in a support function and or user management. Let's go ahead and add a provisioning team to provision databases for other users. Now that we've defined this team, we can create users within the team. As the admin, I can see all existing users. I'll go ahead and add my colleague Daphne to the team. Let's jump over for a second to the admin view. You'll note that the admin has the dashboard, teams and users, the account information, as well as any associated invoices that have been produced, pricing information, which includes estimates for the AWS instance type, the associated vCPUs, the cost of the database's instance per hour, storage type, storage value, and additional charges. If you have any questions about billing or the pricing questions or support, we have a frequently asked questions in the Help and Support tab, as well as ways to reach us via email or through our exclusive community on PostgresRocks.com, designed specifically for our cloud database system users. Let's jump back into the dashboard and spin up an instance. You'll see that this is a brand new account. We have 0 instances, 0 snapshots, and of course 0 volumes associated. So let's launch a cluster. I can choose to launch from a template which has pre-configured usage cases, or I can manually define a cluster. We'll manually define our cluster. We'll make the cluster name Test1, and we're going to launch it with Postgres 11, running on a 64-bit version of CentOS 7. Server class is T3 Micro, and we'll have, let's say, 3 nodes, storage capacity 50 gigabytes, and we choose to have this encrypted, and our EBS volume is optimized. At this time, I don't need to perform an OS or software upgrade, but you can elect to do so. Keep in mind, however, that it may take a little bit more time to provision the cluster itself. So let's get started. We've got auto availability zones defined across the master and both replicas, and you can define your site or rules and the ports here. You need to define automatic backup retention and how many are going to be retained. Right now, we have it set to 1, and the window is 12 a.m. to 2 a.m. GMT. We can also do continuous archiving, which does a point-in-time recovery. Now we have the database in creation process. You can monitor the progress from the Clusters tab, and as you can see here, we're initializing the master. It's going to go through the process of mapping the IP as well as the remainder of the bridging. The cluster is now provisioned, and you can look into the event log after clicking on your cluster, named Test1, and you can see the entire process there. If you look at the indicators associated with the cluster, we've got some nice green check marks associated to the VM, the high availability, and the database itself. However, under Up, we do see an exclamation point. Now, that does not indicate a true warning state. It merely shows that there are updates available. That could be related to the OS, or it could be minor updates to the database itself, but no updates are required to make use of the database. On the left pane, you'll see the options available for this cluster. Scale Up allows you to add both replicas and storage. Scale Down allows you to remove select replicas. Backup, which in addition to the daily backups that are taken for the cluster, you can perform at any point in time. You can clone the cluster, either from a templated approach or manually, and you can upgrade the cluster, which allows you to perform an OS and DB minor upgrade and DB major upgrade, if available. Finally, you have the Scale Machine Type. This is an effort which will require a maintenance window, but can take your machine types anywhere from a T3 small all the way to, as currently available, an R5 4X large. And again, that's what you're going to see from the perspective of an administrator within the console itself. Let's get back to Daphne. Remember her, she was the colleague that we provisioned a couple minutes ago. Let's go back to what she'll see when she logs into the system. Here's the invite Daphne received, complete with a link to registration for the platform. You'll see that she has the same new registration form that John Postgres filled out just a few minutes ago. As soon as Daphne submits the registration form, she is taken directly into the platform because she already has an existing invite for her team. Since she's not the admin, she sees only the dashboard, pricing, and help. She does not see the team and users tab, nor does she see the capability to open up a support ticket. The platform on Postgres Rocks for CDS, however, is still available for general help and inquiries across the user base. Now, Daphne has the same capabilities as John, but she won't be able to see the cluster on which he is provisioned unless she is associated to his team. And that's it. In less than 10 minutes, you've signed up for the service, created the admin account, a team, a user, and an entire cluster. What are you waiting for? Get started with the EDB Postgres Cloud Database Service today. Learn more at enterprisedb.com/CDS.